Hello and welcome to another session of the Veil Iterations. I won't go through too much because if you're watching episode 16 or whatever this is, then you probably have either made a terrible mistake or you've watched a bunch of this. We are playing the Veil. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. So last time the group made kind of a portentous decision, mainly involving our unpleasant doppelganger, as it were, and not the Riddle Blue doppelganger, but the serial killer doppelganger of demise. That you were going to deal with him, and to that end, you kind of organized and alerted the people of the little Okefenokee here to try and get the weirdling people together, kind of in a little more defensive stance, and then you planned on following up yourselves to try and deal with him and with what he brought. Parallel to that, Riddle and Heller, by the way, Sherry named our Roomba Hellerton, just to tell you that. Riddle and Heller had an interesting set of back and forths, let us say, about life, about experience, about all of those things. So what I want to do today is I want to kind of start us out sort of on site. We'll kind of backfill in some planning and things like that for trying to track / deal with demise. You have some idea about who his targets are, and I think that is the plan that you have for tonight. To that end, I want to check in on some start of session things. Particularly, I want to start with Gabriel, because Gabriel, you have a move that is just for this kind of thing, the planning move. So I'd like to actually start out with that. I'll grab the roller, copy.
Oh, yeah, let me do that.
Drop that in the chat and get it open for myself. Oh, there's the other cat.
Kitty. Okay. And this is coming off of us having had the person that I've sort of said, oh, well, you're just going to end up dying. And we went actually to the people and rallied them. And now we're getting together and having a bit of, are we expecting, this is all of us together, right?
Yes.
Or is it, yeah, okay.
Yeah. We'll assume we're going to kind of hard frame Riddle and Heller into the situation here.
Okay.
Yes, I like to think that we've come downstream by boat, like a rowboat, arguing the entire way. So
yeah. So you spoke with Azalea Flo last time, and weren't able. Like when she did push back, you were like, "We're not going to do it that way." But you do know that she is definitely on a target list. So
yeah, she priced herself well out of reach.
Yeah.
All right. I think that this is feeling like my power. This is
okay.
Which is getting me very close to Spike, but all the same, feels like what it is. And I am going to roll. That's a 9.
That is a 9. Do you have any bonds you want to spend to bump that up?
Can I spend mine, or do other people have to spend theirs?
Let's look how we define that. I can't remember right now. Basically, let's look at bonds.
I think the other has to help.
Bonds connection to 18 like a night help one another. That's right. You can spend a bond with a person to give them +1 forward. So it's not, you're right, it's not self-spend. I forget because it's hard to build in. So you've got a 9. What does that get you?
That will get me 2 gold.
Okay. So you've got 2 hold towards that. Marley, is there anything you are doing preparatory, planning, move-wise that you want to get set here?
Let's see. I feel like I should do something here. What is okay, 2 essence? Um, I thought. Oh no, that's the move I didn't pick. Okay.
Okay.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Riddle, I can't remember if you have anything besides your hunger move.
No, but I do have that.
Then let's do that.
It's up to 2. Ooh, use my fancy skull. It still hasn't
Got
made
a
me mad
skull.
yet. Did try to throw that die on the floor though. Oh wait, that's a weird move. 6, 8.
8. So let's take a look at that move again. They will be done. So I get 1 hold.
Yes. Name something it must have, or propose or reject a course of action.
Okay. Heller?
Sure. I would love to come and scrap in this little Okie Finoki.
Okay. Let's
So-
go ahead and have you roll that.
Okay, and I think I just roll that with.
With you choosing a state to roll with.
Okay. Ooh. Actually, I
Look at
think
those
I'm very
states.
excited because I might see an alligator.
Okay.
All right, I have no idea. Like, I've only seen them on vids.
So is
Okay.
that joy or power?
Yeah, I think it's a joy.
Okay.
I'm like a little excited here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm rolling with 2 then. 'Cause I have +1 with my, it helps me scrounge. Take a +1 forward.
yes.
See, when I use it to help scrounge. Right. Okay, good. So I wasn't completely making that up. Sometimes I misremember. Oh gosh. Let's see here. Okay. So 2d6 and I'm adding 2. So that's a 9.
Okay. So on a 9, I believe you get 1 scrap or 2 scrap at a cost.
Well, I'll get 1 scrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tyler, you mentioned kind of setting things up, getting a space, an HQ kind of set up, a nerve center for what you're doing here. So describe to me what that's like. Like, what have you got set up? Have you brought in a van? Have you set up in a trailer? Are you in a building? Like, where do you think you have set up?
I think I've arranged like one of those. It's like a big Hummer. It's the sort of thing that is inappropriately large so it can hold equipment and is supposed to be able to handle off-roadiness. But it's got that back area that's almost like a van, but it's got big old huge wheels.
Absolutely. The danger, of course, being here that we're kind of in a Venetian style area. So the real risk for your thing is driving and falling through into the water.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Then do we think maybe something that floats? I mean, I'm aware of the environment. Marley,
Yeah. Do you want to have like essentially like kind of a houseboat set up, one that can kind of go low so you can go through the waterways there?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Okay. Essentially, probably what you do is you have to essentially commandeer a city services thing that are used to clean and clear these kinds of areas and are made for going around in them.
Can I manage that with my own influence, or did I need to spend anything?
Remind me what your corporate resources are that you have for free.
Influence and luxury.
Yeah, I think you'd need to spend to have that, but you'd have it and it's secure and hidden and solid.
Okay. There's two of my capital out.
But yeah, so the four of you are in there. We can assume that you've given a number of these people communication channels, so you do have a web of communications that Riddle can manage here.
Cool.
How are you describing the plan, Marley? How are you describing what it is you want to do to Heller and Riddle when they arrive?
That's a good question. Trying to remember exactly what we did okay, we just talked to a bunch of people and warned them and
rallied them, strongly rallied them to their own defense.
Defend themselves. So we've got them sort of looking out for Demise, and I mean they'll contact us. I think I've been very specific that Heller and Riddle should get nowhere near this guy. Given that they're both have a whole lot of cyberware. And I think the plan is I'll just go and confront him, and Gabriel will be there to back me up with, whatever resources he chooses to apply to this.
Okay, yeah, but what's the plan?
I mean, that's all I've got. Inputs, welcome.
My input is that's not a plan, or a very bad one.
Okay.
It's an outline, the set of parameters that we're working with to begin with. His MO, is he going to go towards those people, or is he going to wait until he can isolate someone?
He's going to go for whoever he thinks has power, but not enough power to put up a fight.
Mhm.
Someone who has some power, but a lot less than he does. And I'll probably try to get them alone. I don't see him attacking a bunch of people at once. That doesn't seem like he's a serial killer, but he's not the mass serial killer, if that makes sense.
So he doesn't wade in with guns per se. It's just
Right.
him. It's
Right.
mano a mano. Is the
Yeah, that's the impression I get. It's not like I've watched him do this, but seems fairly cautious.
Okay. So, do we know what the power looks like?
Looks like
And then I
Riddle,
sort of turn and go, Riddle, I mean, have you been able to measure it? Can you create something that would simulate that?
I don't know if I could, but you're both drawing on the same non-localized aspatial energies. If you're trying to attract him to a certain type of target, could you pull him? Could you make the waves that he's looking for?
Yes, but I think he'll know it's me. And well, I mean, last time I talked to him, he seemed to not
Feel ready to kill you?
Right. Right.
And I look
Although,
at,
who
you see
knows if
him
that's
look
still the
at
case?
Riddle with like his eyes kind of bugged out, like the guy is crazy, you know, it's that sort of,
Yeah. He's under the impression that I
Good.
have more power than he wants to tangle with. But I mean, maybe I can't think of a way I could do it without being identified.
Well, think about it from the other side then. If you were looking for something like that, if you were hunting like he was, how? How would you look for them? How would you find them?
Well,
Would you like to certainly, you have the possibility, we can roll this into an assess or lift the veil, whichever you think is appropriate for this, Marley.
yeah. I'm actually looking at one of the moves here and see if. Yeah, I think I think it's just an assess or lift
Okay.
veil or whichever it is. Look at that.
What is it you want to roll with? And also, do you want to mark anything before you roll?
Let's see. Okay. No, I think fear. Actually, I'm not sure. Am I afraid or sad here? I think guilt actually may be closer to what I'm feeling right now. Seeing as how I've sort of didn't start him on this path, but maybe accelerated him on this path a little. Yeah, I think this is sad.
There's also the thing of, just put yourself in the serial killer's mind and tell us how you'd hunt a
Yeah,
homeless victim.
I think anytime I like slow down and actually consider this, it's like it's more guilt than fear.
Okay. Let's have you roll then. So a +2.
So roll. It's thinking about it. It's considering rolling, maybe.
Oh,
There we go.
Well, look at that.
I'll take that.
So I imagine that it's you kind of reaching out and feeling the vibrations that you felt around before, in addition to like trying to picture how he hunts, and you're trying to get a sense of that. And I think you will realize that there's a swirling of the kinds of forces that you are in touch with, and that it is almost like there are rot drones that are moving around the area in the water and on the debris and in the fungus and all of that are circling around. And I think with your role there, you can sense like where they are starting to move towards. And it's definitely not the bulk household that you've kind of lodged people in. And it's not after you. They're not circling you because you're powerful, but there are still a few outliers,
Okay.
Including Azalea, that you can sense the sort of autonomous pieces of rot that he, like you, is clearly linked through. And I think you suspect that he's going to find his targets, and then, like you, he's going to come in.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Does that seem like fair info?
Yeah, that does.
Okay. And with that 12, I think you also get a follow-up, don't you?
Wait.
On assess. On a 10 plus, you also get 2 hold.
Okay.
So you can
Get
ask a
2
question,
hold.
reveal a detail, take +1 forward.
Okay. Hmm. I think I'll take +1 forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
okay. Here's an odd one. It's not
Sure.
about him, but it is a question about a person.
sure.
I think I'm kind of suspicious about like what is the deal with Azalea? Like why did she turn down that offer and like demand such a ridiculous price that she knew would not like she had to know Gabriel wasn't going to go for that. Like what is she up to? Or not necessarily. I guess like
No,
why
no.
why wouldn't she? Or
I think that is a fair question. I think you kind of flash back to the questions that you asked of her before and stuff, and she knew a lot. And I think there is this feeling you get that this is a person who has probably been helping Demise,
okay,
maybe not willingly,
okay,
but is certainly like wrapped up in that.
okay.
Like the pieces fall into place for you on that. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yes, that does.
I think Riddle is like watching this, and he has the like multi-spectrum cyber eyes. They're just like flipping through all these energies as Marley is searching. He says, "Yes, yeah. See, that's it. It's not magic. It's energy and code. It's just esoteric. Very. I mean, it may be a little, but
You can see it.
I can see pieces of it, but
It's in pieces. So if you're seeing pieces, that's good.
yes, and it's as you're searching, it's like you're making a negative image of what you're looking for. We can make you that, at least for a while, I think.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
So Riddle, what is it you're trying to achieve? And I'll come back to Heller and Gabriel.
I think this might be like trying to reconfigure Marley, or at least their presence in the Veil, their interaction with the Veil.
Reconfigure.
As in the move.
Okay. And let me take a look at that again. So are you trying to hide them or?
No, I'm just trying to. Like, Marley's got too much of the mojo. So I'm trying to change the frequency that they're giving off to look more like one of these helpless bird victims.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. What do you want to roll that with?
I think it would be power. This is a weird collaboration situation, and like Riddle does not understand or take seriously enough any of this nearly to be as afraid as she should be.
Also, like you just discovered a kind of energy that nobody else has tapped into technologically. So like, this is a new invention.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll with that +3.
I think it's very much that assumption in the phrase, like, oh, it's not magic. As in, like, oh, I've seen it once. I understand it now. I can do this. It's a 7. So 3 is 10.
10. So pick 3 options and gain 1 imagination.
So I have to remove something.
What are you removing?
Probably one of the telltale giveaways of Marley's potence and strength in this is their like subconscious control over these rot drones and processes. So I think they're not going to have as much ability to keep them away, stop them, control them. Like they'll be sort of more at the mercy of these energies. Does that make sense?
Okay. So essentially you're taking away any control that Marley might have over these rot drones. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean that seems fair, right?
That seems like that can't go possibly wrong.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And the other 2
I mean,
picks?
they're not my ride drones, so I should be able to control them, right? I wasn't expecting to. Definitely not. Totally wasn't counting on that at all.
The change is not noticed.
Okay.
I think maybe not even by Marley until bad situation. See, I already have too much imagination.
Okay.
So don't suffer feedback and subconscious stays repressed.
Okay. Gabriel, you're getting reports on this as you're processing what Marley and Riddler are kind of telling you about the situation and what they're doing. What is it that you want to do? What is it you want to get set up here? You've already kind of got your plans in place. You've got your HQ here. You've got people that are most at risk in a secure location.
Okay. I think at this point it's really just if we're doing the lure in, then it's just making sure all assets are as ready to deploy where our trap is as possible. I don't know if there's a move to set that up or anything, but it's,
here's
it's
what
more
we'll do.
like just
And we're going to do, I think it's going to come down to a risk here in just a second. And we'll have you roll that. It's kind of an approach roll in its own way.
okay.
Let me check in with Heller before that triggers. You know kind of what's going on. What is it that you want to be doing, have ready?
Me?
Heller.
Heller. Oh, well, Heller was standing there watching very closely, and when Riddle started with that signal and kind of changing the thing, I think that Heller turned on his recording. And essentially he's recorded enough of it so that he can have, you say, a little playable bit of that energy around him, because I have things that both record, jam, and can like push out. So I have wide spectrum and telescopic and kind of thing in my thing. So I will essentially, I can cause some more noise in the system if I need a distraction, is what I'm going for.
So it feels to me like Gabriel is making our risk roll with potentially you spending a bond to assist and then potentially having another reaction roll. Does that seem reasonable way to kind of run that through?
I don't think you have a bond.
I don't have a bond, but I think you can choose to help though, can't you? And then if, I don't know.
You can choose to assist.
Yeah. So yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So,
then Gabriel, let's have you roll your risk roll. Here's what it's going to be. On a fail, it's gonna be horrible, and I'm gonna do whatever I want. Fair enough. On a 7 to 9, we'll kind of go back and forth on what the elements are. On a 10 plus, I'm gonna let you set the scene. Sound fair?
All righty. Yeah.
What do you want to roll that with?
I honestly, I think I'm a little concerned and worried. I have a lot of my friends involved here, plus my own skin in the hides, or hide in the game. So
Okay.
I think it's fear.
Okay.
All right, rolling. Come on. That's a 5.
That is a 5. Now, Sherry, do you want to roll to assist?
Sure. So, I'm rolling whatever I wish, right?
You're rolling whatever you wish.
Okay. Well, I think that all of this is about my fear for my friend, so I too will roll fear.
Okay.
So it's a +2. So 2d6 and I'm adding 2.
Okay.
So that's a 4 plus a 2, so a 6, a 5 plus a 6.
6.
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
he's a very clever serial killer.
No.
I got to take our first break here. I got to think about this one.
Okay.
that double fail means I need a few moments to think. Let's take our first break, our
reasonable.
10 here, and then we'll continue on. So you have been moving and tracking and using the energies and essentially pulling Demise's drones to an area away from civilians and away from the real targets, drawing them out and moving your HQ over to that area, kind of following the pattern, getting it set. And I imagine that you're kind of, Marley, you've probably gone out on top as the others are kind of getting ready to go as you're moving into position here, cross-tracking everything, getting the monitors going and that kind of thing. And I think, Marley, there is that moment you've kind of closed in, the drones have kind of settled into a spot nearby, and you will have the sense of this change in the energy that tells you that, like you can, Demise is anchoring and coming in. And I think you're just about to say that to Gabriel and the others who are kind of down below you in the vessel that's in the water. And you three are kind of waiting. And that is when the explosion rips the bottom out of this boat. And it just blows water. Metal comes flying in here. This whole thing shakes and kind of abuts, smashes through some of the waterway tiling, and Gabriel, Riddle, and Heller, you are thrown to the end as this thing begins to sink, and the entire thing floods with water. My deposit. Give me 1 second to shut my door so we don't get so much of an echo when I talk loud. Here, hang on 1 second.
Oh.
You can ascertain that whatever is going on with those energy signatures is still there. Whatever's happened here has not sent them off fleeing. But you've got bogeys in the water.
Okay.
Heller.
Will my armor apply to this damage?
No.
Okay.
Heller, what do you do?
Well, I want to get Riddle and Gabriel out of here safely. So
Okay.
that's my thing. So it's pulling those two together and starting them up to the surface. I mean,
Okay.
up to the upper deck. So
So this feels like a risk roll.
okay.
It feels like Marley has come in, so potentially Marley can spend bonds to assist you on this.
Okay.
A 10 plus will get both of them out. A 7 to 9 is a Sophie's choice.
Okay, so I will use power because this is something I'm actually kind of built for. And I will look at my gear. I have my protective suit, so everything's cool, but I'm not gonna click that. I am probably going to go with, I'm probably gonna use my right hand with the double jointed, to essentially, how do you say, make my way through all of the obstacles here, like holding on in an unnatural way to like pull them
Push
up
through
and
water, push the
Exactly.
stuff that's in here, get up to that hatch, get open. There's a pressure, of course, on the hatch itself. You got to use the arm to push it open.
out. Okay, I'm gonna roll 2d6. That gives me an 8.
Gives you an 8. Marley, do you want to spend your bonds to make this a 10 plus?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So it's
how
1 for 1 or
1 for 1? 2 of them will get you
Cool.
to
Okay.
that 10 plus.
cool.
So how is it that you assist Heller in grabbing onto Gabriel, grabbing onto Riddle, and getting them up and out of here?
Um,
Pass them out to you.
huh?
I pass them
I-
out to you.
I mean, I think I think I'm like swimming for the boat and so I'm underwater, coming in through the big gaping hole in it, and like see that Heller is trying to do this and just like grab the nearest person and start hauling them up to there, and like that's what Heller, pushes up in the hatch with his like mechanical arms, and like that's the hard part right there.
So the 4 of you will break surface out of this vessel. Riddle, like you were in virtual space tracking all of this in the veil and out, and then there was this explosion. It took you a second to register what was going on, fully in physical space, and then thrown by the water, and then grabbed, and now you've just broken the surface. What do you do?
Honestly, I think he's like freaking out for a minute here, checking his suit to make sure that like there's no breaches, nothing's getting in.
Oh yeah, because this water is filthy. It is absolutely filthy and awful. And I think that's the
I could
moment.
walk along the bottom of the river fine if my suit was intact, but if it's not, then
I think it is, but I think it is when you kind of catch the glint of the eyes that are just on the surface, and you realize that you've come up and you didn't know. I mean, Marley described them, but you didn't know these gators were that big.
I mean that seems unreasonable. Is this like a stuffed mascot of a gator? Is this like a cartoonishly large over reproduction?
What do? You're checking your suit. You're making sure it's not too bad. Do you want to get out of the water? Do you want to what do you want to do? Keep in mind that Gabriel has kept your comms up, so you have complete communication with the others.
I sort of want to roll inner conflict to see whether he makes a bad decision or makes a smart
I think
decision.
that's perfect there.
This would definitely be fear.
Okay.
It's 8, 9.
That is a
Oh, yeah.
9. Try and get away from here. Leave your friends behind. Mark another spike in that, or overreact to make the situation worse.
I mean, it's obviously overreact to make the situation worse.
How do you overreact?
I have a neural disruptor in my hand, which is great. It like shocks things and really deters them, but it is loud and area, and we're in the water.
Okay.
So I reach out to like, grab this gator because that's a terrible idea, but also everybody's around me and wet.
All right. I think that this makes a thunderous amount of noise in the water. And while it doesn't carry the charge so much, it is the flash of it, the noise of it, and the gator exploding as the touch of this superheats the water in its body.
Oh no.
And then it explodes across you.
Oh no. Oh, that's so much worse.
Yes.
Can we go back to where I'm hurting all my friends? I like that better.
Yeah. And you kind of look around. You mean at this point you're not even sure there was a gator there. It was a monstrous thing. But we'll come back to you in just
Marley,
1 second.
Marley, why did it do that? Marley, do they always do that?
Marley, you've gotten your friends out, you get in the water, you know that there's black ops people in the water, and you kind of turn around and you see Riddle desperately reach his hand out and zotch this gator, and suddenly there is a lot of, you're glad you're in the water, let's just say that.
Yeah.
And it was loud.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you know, maybe they didn't realize we were out of the boat, but they sure do now. Awesome.
What do you want to do?
Well, you know what? If everybody else can get to shore, I do have this camouflage skin.
Okay.
And I could go cause some sort of trouble or disruption, or I don't know, mess with. How many people do I think there are?
You're not sure. You're
Okay.
not sure. You've got two problems here. One, you know there's a team in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You assume they might have people up top, probably not as big a team, but that's the thing. But the other thing is that you know that Demise is manifesting in just over there.
Yeah, great. Okay. So what do I do? There are many bad options here.
We'll come to you, Gabriel, after this.
Oh, there are so many options. All of them are terrible. So I'm trying to think of which one might actually do something useful here. Yeah, I think I, yell at the others. There's a whole team of people in the water. I don't know the situation out of the water. Demise is right over there. And yeah, I'm gonna try to locate, because I know there's a team of people in the water, but we're getting out of the water, so I'm not that concerned about them, but I'm gonna go try to locate the ones on land.
Okay. So that feels like assess.
Okay.
So kind of treading water, moving away. You've got some cover from the shrapnel and the water and so on. What do you want to roll the assess with?
Yeah, I mean, this is fear too.
Okay. Let's spike that out.
I'm real close to spiked on mad, sad, and fear. all of the stressful things. Why is this taking so long? There we go. Okay, 8.
So that is an 8. So you would say that you've got 4 people up there on the shore, essentially 1 command and control person, coordinator, and then 3 people who were set to, like, you're not sure if they're there to capture or if they're there to neutralize, but around in the area, they seem to be distracted by the explosion and the colorful manifestation happening over there that they were clearly not expecting.
Right. Yes.
So,
well,
you have basic information. You gain 1 hold, or 2 hold if you want to pay a cost.
okay.
So let's look at our assess stuff.
I'll do the 1 hold, I believe. Like,
Sure.
basic
So
assess. It was just
ask
here.
or reveal or take +1 forward.
Well, I think I know what I want to do, so I'll just take +1 forward.
Okay. All right. And we assume because of the comms and stuff that you can relay that information immediately, because Gabriel has maintained
Yes.
full on that. Gabriel, you're in the water. What do you want to do?
There. Okay. I'm still in the water.
You're in the water, you've gotten pulled up so that you're out of the vessel, but you're in the water. That gives you a little bit of cover. It means that thermal imaging and stuff is a little harder for you. In this, you're also still in you would have been in a wetsuit and top of your armor and stuff. So,
And Heller, he gave us a kind of just a yell towards sort of people.
Marley can give you, because you got the comms up, can give you, like, these are the positions of the 4 people.
Gotcha. Okay. Excellent.
The weak link is that Riddle is panicking.
I can't help much with that, I don't think, at the moment. I'm going to try to get to dry land, pushing to be away from where this. I can't believe this guy brought Black Ops. That is something else. Away from where that mass is, but maybe favoring towards where he is.
Oh, so you want to get over closer to where Demise is?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's risk to get yourself so 10 plus get you in a really good position. A 7 to 9 means it might be slightly exposed. Does that seem fair?
That seems fair.
Okay. Are you using any of your cyber?
Yeah. Let's do my eyes, my low light telescope. Actually, let's go with ears. I think I'm going to try and use more of. It's probably going to be better for me at this point trying to hear than to see.
Sure.
All right. And am I mad? Yeah, I think I'm pissed off at this point. So yeah, I think I'm mad. How to spike out mad? That's one I never thought I'd spike out.
Oh, okay.
Gosh almighty. That's a 6.
That is a 6. So I think there's that moment when you pop out and are getting there, when you hear the crack of the rifle, and you'll feel that sniper bullet punch into you. Sherry.
Can I assist? I have shield on one of my arms. I would like to essentially prevent that harm.
Okay. Are you spending a bond then? Do a
I
bond?
don't have them. So,
Okay. Well,
so
then,
it's the
then
thing
you are
is
rolling to help.
okay, that's what I'm doing. Yes. So, so I am using that arm,
Okay.
and that gives me advantage when I do that.
Okay.
So shield, I'm marking it. And then I'm doing this again with power. This is my job. So 2d6, and then I'll roll a 1d6. So, and then and a 3. So that's a 5 and a 3
So that's
plus
plus 2.
9. Yeah.
So that
Plus
is a
2.
9.
Yeah, 9. Right.
So
Yeah.
yes, you were saying something?
If it's a 8 and a 3 plus 2, that's 10.
Are we rolling with a +2 or a +1, Sherry?
Rolling with a +1.
Okay,
Oh,
so it's a 9. So I think that you're going to get that shield up, and you're going to glance the hit. So rather than the 4 harm that Gabriel would take, you're going to take 2 harm, Sherry.
Okay, that seems more than reasonable.
And you can mark armor.
Okay.
Don't forget to, if you have it, to reduce that by 2.
Okay.
But Gabriel, you'll get up onto the ledge. You'll hear that crack, but you'll roll away kind of into cover at that point and get yourself into position. And like you can go, okay, I had 4 bogeys. That's the one that fired the rifle. I know where that sniper is at now. And with your hearing, like a gunshot thing, you can get exact position there.
Excellent.
Heller, what are you doing?
Let's see here. So
You are still in the water.
I'm still in the water. How close are these guys?
You're not sure who's in the water, how many of them are there, but you do. I mean, you have a spot on the 4 guys that are up top.
Okay, but those are not ones I can reach. Let's see here. I have. Then what I will do is I will spend another thing, and I will use what I multi-spectrum, I guess, to see the guys underwater for the heat thing.
Okay. So that'll give you fictional positioning if you want to use that to do neutralize.
Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. So
and what does that look like? Are you swimming down to,
and
what are you going to hit them with?
Well, with my I have a scalpel, a particle scalpel.
Okay.
That's what I have. Okay, I'm not usually a fighter, so
yeah, you go swim down towards the figures you see moving in this mucky thing. And I mean, you're lucky you have some filtration there, because this is super nasty.
all right.
Your filters are already getting clogged up.
Okay.
So what do you want to roll that neutralize with?
Again, I think that this is pretty much all adrenaline, so I'm treating that as power. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
That this is that. So now I used a piece of equipment, I did the mark on it, so that gives me the opportunity to use.
I'm giving you that as fictional positioning, so you didn't have to make like an assess roll or spot roll or anything like that. Does that seem fair?
Sure. That was what I was asking. Okay, so
you can mark another piece
and...
of equipment if you want to give yourself advantage on the attack roll.
Let's see what I have. I have a lot, but I don't have that much.
You're losing money not marking it.
Okay. I'll oof. Well, wouldn't I be using my, well, no, because I'm not actually marking it like it's done. I guess I would use my multi-tool then.
Okay.
I'm actually going to use it to lock on and probably grab the guy and pull him towards me. It's
Okay.
more kind of what it's doing. Okay.
So mark that and
did.
roll with advantage
Okay.
with your attack roll here for neutralize.
Okay. So 7, 8. I can't get over an 8. Sorry, guys.
Cannot get over an 8. So on a 7 to 9, you generate 2 hold and you're going to take harm. So you're going to take 2 harm in the water.
Okay.
Okay.
So those are the first harm I take because the armor took care of it previously.
Okay.
So
and then what do you want to spend your hold on?
I am looking at the neutralize move. Okay. Let's see here. I want
To give you the numbers, this is a mob in the water. There are 6 of them. Each time you inflict harm, we'll take out 1 of them.
Okay, I guess that's what I'll do is I'll just take 2 of them out.
So what does that look like? Like, are you cutting hoses? Are you stabbing them?
I think that's it. I'm not even trying to kill them. I'm trying to make it so they can't do anything other than stay alive. Does that make any sense? So
dive, laser scalpel lights up. There's a flurry of bubbles as the water catalyzes around it, and then and you're cutting respirators in there. And of course, they're getting a mouthful of a delicious swamp water immediately.
Yes, which you know,
with
it's
added,
not the worst thing
brew.
I've tasted. Yeah.
Yeah. Riddle.
Okay, that was awful, but you know, the alligators, they mostly just stay up on top. They're like floating log things, so if they're on top, and then I see Heller dive down, I'm like, that's it, that's the answer. Like, just get away from this. Nothing can hurt me down there. So he just like stops moving and drops like a rock under the water.
Okay. I think as you drop, you see the 4 tactical team down here with essentially Gauss guns, like looking to take out people that are in the water, like you and Heller.
Oh, that's. I mean, I went down here to be safe. Did you not understand that? Well, they're in lots of gear and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So unlike all of the mud and alligators and horribly organic everything, these people seem just to be begging for the kick.
Okay.
Because I imagine without all of their technological assistance, they're going to have a lot of problems in this swamp water.
What do you want to roll that with?
I think this is still fear.
Okay.
Things are not getting better. I thought they were getting better. They're not getting better.
Okay.
It's a 7.
That is a 7. You get to pick 2, and you can spend imagination to do an extra pick.
So small group.
Okay.
Stun harm.
Okay.
And I will spend an imagination. I don't want to take harm in the doing.
Okay.
But that leaves potential problems with the veil and my subconscious.
One of the things you'll do as you reach out, as you kind of hit into these things, and you do that, is you realize that they've got some hardened reset stuff. So like when you hit them, it knocks them out, but you can already feel the micro veils they've got on their stuff resetting, like they're prepared for you to do this. But you hit them hard enough that it's taking them time to compensate.
I disagree with this entire environment. It's just a terrible place here.
Also, you are underwater. Do you have rebreathers or filters or something like that built into your cyberware?
Not as tag, but there's that like separation from the world, so it's probably not going to last as long as you might imagine it would.
I think there is a moment where at the back of your mind you hear you're just going to drown down here, and you're going to drown in filth. It's going to leak in through your suit. It's going to get in between your suit and your skin, and it's going to stay there, and there's going to be no getting it out. It's going to get into your pores.
He's like rubbing his arms. He can feel it all over, not because it's there, but because his suit is so good. It's transmitting. It's like it is there.
Absolutely.
But he can't tell the difference if that's the suit or if it's leaking.
Marley, you see Heller take 2 of these guys out. The other 4 are like, you could hear the shattering of the veil as Riddle hits him, but then you see Riddle start to, you're not sure if he's having a spasm or what.
Okay.
There were 6 in the water, 2 down, so 4 left.
Yeah, and Gabriel
that are
is
stunned.
out of the water and has just been shot, and there are still 4 people out of the water and 4 people in.
Yeah, but the 4 people in are going to be out for a little while because they have to have their thing reset, and they also took stun harm. So you got basically the active threats are the 4 people out of the water and demise.
Okay. I think the 4 people out of the water are what I'm thinking of as the immediate threat, seeing as how one of them just shot Gabriel and they still have guns. So I'm not sure how many rolls this is, but what I want to do is use my camouflage skin to get close to them as possible and as far from Riddle and Heller as possible. And then I'm going to use my jamming interface to cut them off from the veil, so they can't communicate with each other.
That feels like, let's look at basic moves.
So I don't know if that's like risk plus. I don't know.
It does feel like that is you trying to take control of the situation. So I think we are still doing neutralize with this.
Okay. Cool.
What do you want to roll that with?
This is a ridiculous situation. Somehow these 8 Black Ops guys are coming after us. Also, we have the psychic serial killer. This is insane, ridiculous. We do not deserve this. I'm mad.
Absolutely.
Okay, really? There we go. 8.
So that is an 8. So you're going to take some harm. What do you want to do? What's your intended effect?
To hold and take harm. Okay. I want to. I basically want to do what Riddle did to them.
Okay.
Lasting longer.
Yours is like a brute force kind of thing. Riddle's
yeah,
is
there's
more
no
of a,
hacking. There's just like no veil.
Yeah, just crashes out that area,
Yes.
white spaces that. But I do think one of these guys will turn and will fire at you, kind of catches you, tags you for 3, despite the camo. And
that really makes sense.
I think you hear from the far side, you hear Demise say, "So they're not with you?" Gabriel, what do you do?
I unfortunately was unable to hear anything during that time that I was off.
Okay.
But I have a fairly, I think I have a decent idea.
the 4 people in the water are temporarily neutralized by Riddle. The 4 people up top have had their visions and their coordination shocked by Marley, and Heller's taken out 2 of them. And it's now become clear that these people aren't with Demise.
Okay. Demise is still our target, right? I mean, that's
There is that.
And we did have assets amongst the people that live here, right?
Well, you got them out of the way. That's why you moved them out to protect them.
But I mean, this would be when they should come and try and go after those Black Ops guys as much as possible. So I think I'm going to kind of give a harass these soldiers as best you can, while I, and doing that kind of, I'm trying to do that sub audio across the net to them, because I'm trying to crawl towards Demise since I heard him, trying to keep low cover and get close.
Okay. Let's have you roll risk. You're trying to keep out of sight. I think we're essentially using a situational tag that you set up. So we'll kind of burn that situational tag, and I will give you advantage on this roll.
Ooh, I can't possibly fail.
There's almost no chance that you could fail now.
All righty. Well, let's see what I'm rolling with, I suppose. I think this is power. I think this is me getting into this, and I'm really intense on this. This is where I feel like a lot of things that I've never used but had been drilled into me are coming into play. A 4, a 1, and a 2. So I got a 9.
9.
Wowie. Oh, I don't want to use my last one. I'll use it to get a 10.
Hey,
I'm probably going to need it to avoid damage, but okay.
I think you move off to the side, like get around. You can still see the sort of the crackle in the air where those rot drones are. You can just kind of make out, and you finally see Demise, and you're kind of moving off along it. The gunfire now from support positions are coming down, and you will see Demise kind of look up as one of the people kind of leans out to take another shot, and he just does this, and their body sloughs off of their skeleton.
Whew.
Just out. Shirt remains, clothing, and just gun kind of tumbles to the ground. And Demise is moving towards where Marley and Riddle and Heller are. Let's come then back to who are we at? We're at Heller again, right?
Sure. I haven't gone in a little while. Yeah.
You cut the straps on this, and as you kind of turn around, you see the other 4, like you can tell, what Riddle's kick is like, but I think you'll also realize that they're kind of prepped for this. But they're still out right now. And now you're hearing gunfire up top from your assets.
Okay, so they're prepped for this, but maybe not so much for physical damage to their equipment. So that's the thing is, they're out. So I don't think it's much of a move to slice through their breather thing.
That's
right?
neutralized, and I'll let you roll with advantage without marking anything based on Riddle's setup. Does that seem fair?
Sure. I mean, the dice don't, but
yeah, I'm trying to like help you, but the dice are like, nope, you dice are just.
Oh no, I got an 11, a 12. So
you're not going to take any harm.
Okay.
If you want, you can take out 3 of the last 4.
Sure. sure, so that they're not going to for sure be a problem, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because don't think, yeah, okay.
Heller is moving through like Echo the Dolphin with a scalpel, taking the people out. A little bit more resilient than Echo, but anyway, Riddle, what do you do?
I think he's latching on to a sane voice in this, and he's just saying, turning to Roxo, I think, like pulling through a telepresence in his like personal veil. It's like, this is all going shit. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna drown down here. What do I do? I want to try and move into It Speaks.
Okay. What do you roll that with?
That's still fear.
Okay.
But a little better fear. Oh, that's a 12 then.
This was our turn, Riddle.
Yeah.
Roxo goes, give me the reins.
Yeah, and I think like this call is like there's this sort of virtual telepresence image of Roxo there floating in the water next to him, and Riddle just reaches out his hand and says, "Anything, just save us." And suddenly there's like a ghostly floating Riddle in the water outside of his own body.
And I think you see Roxo kicks off, and you see him kick off with your body, and you see his hands go around the throat of this last guy in the water and just grabs on, and that guy's still recovering from the stun and pulls that respirator off, and just kind of shakes, and then kind of kicks off like an Olympic swimmer, kicking the body down as it goes to Roxo goes to break the surface.
I think as he's like up close with the guy, Riddle is like in shock, trying to get away from it, back away, not see it, but the range of that like limited veil is so short he can't really get away from it.
It's okay, Riddle. You can edit your memories later and not have to have this. Marley, back to you. What are you doing? It looks like the people in the water have been taken care of. These four up here are kind of like stunned, and now Gabriel has called down suppression fire. You know where Gabriel is at. He has moved along carefully and positioned himself up behind Demise. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I would like to go help Gabriel as quickly as possible.
How do you want to do that? Do you want to try engage Demise? Do you want to divert? Do you want to neutralize? What is it?
I would like to where is it? I would like to use Viaduct and just appear like between Demise and Gabriel, like right in front of Demise.
So, like right in front of Demise?
Yep, right
okay.
there.
All right. Is there a roll for Viaduct?
What's my roll here? How do I do this? Yes, I definitely roll for this. Okay.
Okay.
God, what is this with? I think this is actually power.
Okay.
this is a thing I can do. Like, this is like, I've tried this before. It worked. This is one, like, the power that I have used, not a lot, but enough
Yeah.
to, I think I'm confident that I can actually do it. Wait, but do I have any at all empowered? No, I do not. Of course not.
I think there's disadvantages if you don't have an anchor.
Oh, that's right.
Now, if you have an anchor, you get, oh yeah, you do suffer disadvantage or spike out one of your homeland states.
Okay.
Your choice.
I will, what are my homelands? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna spike out fear because, like, that just it makes by far the most sense in this situation.
What does it look like when you do this with absolute boxcar mastery? Like, no kidding. You can tell as you start to do it that Demise is like waiting for you to viaduct, waiting for you to open up, and like he's like preparing, like he's going to like open up an entryway to his rot realm, but you are so ahead of him.
I think I land like on him. I just appear and just like tackle him as I'm materializing.
He's trying to shift as you do that, like, and Gabriel, you'll see the world like it's like somebody has absolutely messed with the veil, but it has a reality to it, like a realness that you can't remember being around. And then Demise is knocked down to the ground, and the look of shock on his face as Marley just absolutely drops him to the ground. What do you do, Gabriel?
I move forward, dropping my weapon into my hand, and I'm going to shoot him in the head.
Please roll neutralize with advantage.
And I'm going to use my my eyes on this for the low light.
Okay.
All right.
What are you rolling with?
I'm rolling with power. This is perfect. I've got everything going my way.
Okay. Then you don't need to roll with eyes. Your power is a +3, right?
Oh, yeah. I can't get better than that, can
Yeah.
I? Okay. Goodbye, eyes. Boop. All right. 3 dice. Let's see. Can I do anything? Oh, yes. Yes.
He's knocked down.
That's
Marley has
14.
tackled him. Both are splayed out. You move up. Tell me what that looks like.
There's the glow that comes off of this sawed-off enormous power weapon, and there is this kind of like almost hush sound as it sort of, and then it lets out this plasma blast straight into his head, and there's a thump.
Yeah. You see him kind of try to shift, like try to move via that viaduct out of here, but Marley has a hold of it, and he's pinned, and there is nothing left from the waist up. Just smoldering.
It's my badass gun.
Absolutely. And we come back to you, Heller. This team is trying to move out of the area. They're trying to get out. You kind of are swimming there. Essentially, there are a couple of them that are dead. The others are trying to evac. What do you want to do? They've got suppressive fire they didn't expect.
Yes.
But I think also, through the comms that Demise is down.
Oh, good. So that's like a huge relief. Yeah, I think, So they're trying to get out of here?
Yeah.
Oh, that suits me just fine.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm probably gonna be like there with like almost like I got a flashlight that's waving them the fast way to where they're going. Does that
Okay.
make any sense? The kind of like, just straight through here, guys. Because I don't want to kill people. I just want them out of our hair. So
Then you can direct them and you can get up safely out of the water. Riddle. Roxo takes you out of the water, rolls you up onto the surface, kind of out of the way of the gunfire and stuff that's going on, and says, "Are you okay now?"
What the fuck was that? I said safety. He could have killed us.
I want you to thank me sincerely.
What?
I said, I'm spending my hold. I want you to thank me sincerely.
I never should have called you.
And he's out of your body. He's gone. And now you can feel that itching again.
Fucking disaster.
come on, Riddle. I'll come back to the edge of the water and pull him out.
No, he's gotten out. He got
Oh,
out
he's out?
gracefully. Yeah,
Wow.
but he's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
sitting there. He looks fine for a second, and then he kind of collapses down.
Okay. Did you get hurt?
No, I mean, blown up some, but I think maybe are you hurt? What happened? Are you okay?
No, they left. And there's no more demise
What they
to worry
left?
about. Yeah, they left. The Black Ops dudes left.
Who the fuck is sending soldiers after us?
Well, I think Gabriel's maybe a little bit more key to something than we realized.
I shouldn't have let him back in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You just mm. Fine. It's not like you said so or anything, but Roxo.
Oh,
I didn't know what to do. It was that I was drowning, maybe, and nothing was working, and things were exploding.
well, you're fine now, right?
I mean,
So you
I
can figure
don't
out how
think
you're
I'm
going to deal
hurt.
with them. Yeah, come on, let's go find Marley. I think something exploded on her too. Yeah, I have no words.
Marley, you feel the crackle as that rot energy, like the rot at the center of the city, that all of that decay of this place, that's what Demise was tapped into. And you feel the crackle as that energy here starts to dissipate. And now you're probably catching first the smells that you'd kind of not had for a while, of the zotch of the body and the rot here and everything. What do you do?
Ah. I think I just kind of like walk away from the like partially exploded body and oh, and like again put my hand in the water of this canal and try to try to just kind of like get my bearings is basically what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know? I don't know if there's a move for that or if it's just purely a narrative thing.
Now I think that feels like a narrative thing. How much harm did you take?
3.
So you're not going to be able to heal that up right away, but I think you can get yourself centered there. Gabriel, you see this. You've blasted Demise. You look over, you see Marley kind of stand up and then kind of walks over and puts their hand in the water.
I move over to them. I'm guessing you kind of knelt down to get to the water. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll move up close and kind of behind and kind of squat down behind you and rather tentatively reach out to, are you all right, Marley? To touch your shoulder.
Yeah. Yes. It's, I didn't realize how much that was a very good shot. I would I want to say why did you do that when I was right there? But it worked, so I'm not going to say that.
He's gone.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of like move to where you can see me move there beside you and kind of lean in, kind of my shoulder touching your shoulder. I'll admit, that scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah, me too.
But we're all right. We made it.
Yeah, the soldiers.
Sounds like they're making their run away.
No, I mean, they weren't with Demise at all.
Sounds like not.
No, so they were hunting you, I assume?
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, so they were able to track you to the boat.
There was some risk coming out. We knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, I look over, oh, Heller and, yeah, there's Heller and Riddle standing on the other side. See, they got out, good, okay, cool. So that's one problem taken care of.
Do you mind terribly? I'm not exactly. This happens very rarely with me, but we've had a victory. Might I embrace you?
I just kind of look down at myself covered with this like polluted, nasty water and blood, and I'm like, yeah, sure, if you want to.
And I'll turn and give you a big, we won, we beat them, we won.
Let's take our second break. Let's take 5, and then we'll bring everybody together. Okay, now some progress.
So it was here.
So maybe the boiled peanuts thing was recorded there. If so, thank all of you who watched through to have heard that interesting discussion.
Go find some boiled peanuts.
Yes, it's probably just like Jesse Abelman. That's the only person I can imagine who would watch that all the way through, because I love him. So we take up back at your safe house, at your secure location that you have. Gabriel, what do we see you doing when we come back in?
I think I might be trying to see if I can track down any scuttlebutt that's going around that hit team was specifically after me or was keeping an eye on the Okefenokee? Was that directed towards me or was that because someone was delving in there?
Lift the veil.
All righty.
What do you want to roll that with?
Let's see. I think I'm going to go with fear because I'm worried that my presence has put Marley's people in danger that probably shouldn't have been there. So I worry, which I think is probably fear. That's a 7.
That's a 7. So I think you go and you check in with your sources, and they'll say, "Oh no, right now there's a ceasefire in the music war. Like there's negotiations going on about next steps, but like you're not on the list right now. Neither is much of anybody. Well, things are getting regrouped, and we've been moving as you wanted to get in position to take advantage of this when this is all finished, but it certainly wasn't any of the recording war folks on it.
Excellent. Well, then that is surprising, but in a pleasant way, I suppose. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, we'll keep an eye out. We can figure out who did this, but I'm not seeing anything on our radar right now.
If you happen to hear anything along the lines of things occurring in the Okefenokee, just drop me a line.
The Okefenokee.
The little Okie?
Yeah. Why the hell are you there?
Looking out for. It's always interesting to see if you could find people outside who can perhaps bring a new voice.
Your contact tries their best not to make a face and will go, well, you are forward thinking.
You never know where talent will pop up.
Apparently.
Thank you.
Riddle? He had quite the shock, but really successful, but maybe not. Like, where are you at headspace wise?
Not great overall. I think he's distracting himself by like using like a laser cleaner to like burn off all of the gunk and remnants on his suit. Probably more times than is necessary, but with this lovely smell of laser burned swamp.
Yeah, what do you think the like when you go to do your suit in the safe house, do you lock yourself in a room by yourself and take it apart to clean it out, or do you do it piece by piece so you're never fully exposed? What do you imagine that is?
It's probably piece by piece. He would normally take a lot of precautions of like locked room, empty building, no one within 3 miles sort of nonsense. But has gone off somewhere in another room, but not particularly locked himself off.
Yeah, take the piece off, get yourself scrubbed down. And I think there is that moment when you do start to take the piece off and you realize nothing got in. And how much you were fooling yourself.
I think even with that, like he like takes off like the lower part of one arm and sees that there's like it's completely sealed and clean inside, and he's like, oh, that's stupid. He puts it back on and goes back to cleaning the outside of the other arm, and then just like 30 seconds later, just muttering to himself and shaking his head, takes the glove off again and cleans the inside anyways.
Yeah. Marley, what about you?
I think there's definitely a like. I definitely spend some time cleaning out the wounds because gunshot wounds and this nasty water.
Yeah.
I've had experience with that. It's bad.
Yeah, you could get that disinfected, get yourself cleaned out. Do you feel any different now with Demise gone?
I think the game still like part of me still doesn't believe it. Like I didn't realize like how much of the rot in the city like was somehow connected to Demise, and like feeling that diminish is weird. And it also kind of I'm like, does this reduce what I can do? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's worth it, definitely. Easy come, easy go. I didn't have these powers a week ago, but like, but at the same time, like, okay, there's a whole lot of new information, and a lot of it is like scary new information. Like, oh, Demise could do a whole lot more than I thought. Oh wait, so other people who are good at this, do they get their powers by killing people too? There's a lot of useful information to deal with, but none of it I super want to think about at the moment.
Absolutely. And what are you spiked out on?
Fear, which is why I'm like going through all this like paranoid wondering about things.
And what about you, Heller?
I think sort of the opposite of both Marley and Riddle. Serva's gone, come back. His sister's there. She's witnessed everyone come in all bedraggled, and Marley smacked up, and and even Gabriel had some bruises clearly, and his suit was askew, and it was not, the usual Gabriel. And I'm a bit of a mess, but I've sort of cleaned myself up. And so there's that thing of, I go, well, we had a bit of a row, but everything's fine. And essentially I will just be like they've all gone and hidden in their room or in the bathroom or whatever. And I'm sort of more like at the kitchen sink, just opening up, my unscrewing my hand from my arm, rinsing it out, and talking while I'm doing that with my sister. Does that make any sense?
She hands you a little scrub brush.
Exactly.
To get in the little gaps there.
So I didn't know like what you see in the videos and stuff, the vids, like they have that stuff hanging from the trees. I always thought it was like maybe little tiny leaves on little like snaky branches or something, but no, it's moss. And I go, look at this stuff. And and it falls in the water, and then it just kind of floats there. And there's a bunch of other gunk it's crazy. I've never seen so much ooky plant stuff ever.
Did you see an alligator?
I saw the underneath of an alligator, and then it blew up.
They do that?
No. Riddle did that.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, their tummies are white.
Oh. Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway,
and so I think can gather your crew together.
Is everyone all right? Well, physically, are we all okay? Anyone need medical treatment? I can arrange for a meeting with a doctor.
Nothing got in.
It would appear that I was, Well, if I was the target of that strike force, it wasn't due to the war. And I try to avoid too many personal feuds. It's possible that my father decided to make an assault on me, but
Or could it be Aegis?
the Aegis.
Aegis. Sorry.
It is possible that they got wind that we were going to be in the area doing something, or they simply have the place staked out.
Keep in mind that you spent a couple days focused on Demise, a low-tech guy, making your plans, getting people coordinated, doing stuff a little loud.
Mm-hmm. It's entirely possible they got wind of it. And that was their response.
Interesting.
Put us all together, we have way too many enemies.
Yeah,
But did they know
pretty
who
fucking
we
serious
were?
response.
But then they saw the fight with Demise, so they may not know what exactly it was we were doing. I don't know.
My hope is that they are not completely aware of who we are. If we've... I mean, it wasn't overt. There was nothing in my name, and not to be rude, but I'm not entirely sure your names would be highlighted as targets. Maybe we were not noticed as individuals as much as someone going into the area.
They
To
were
find
ready,
out more, though, would be dangerous.
They were ready for Riddle.
I probably don't know that.
Yeah, I Riddle had like do you explain that, or how do you put that, or do you just think that they were over prepared? Let's consider that, because you really had the context on that.
I mean, that was full on assault army special forces gear for just watching to see if someone maybe came through. They had underwater explosives and rigged alligators and automatic suit resets. They had their own veil.
Alligators weren't real?
Automatic
They
suit
looked real to me.
resets. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they had their own backup veil. They were ready to have their connections cut.
Backup veil.
Something or restarting.
Did you, Marley, how hard would it be for us to revisit that spot?
That spot? Go right now. I think. I mean, I don't think there are permanently soldiers there. I think they were following us. So
perhaps I could read.
I don't know what that spot is now.
What their veil was showing.
Do you think we were getting too close to something that was there?
I think we could learn more. If they had their own private veil, perhaps I could learn something of what they are. Or what they were doing. Where... Take me there.
Sure.
I think we can cut to a while later. I think it takes a bit. You probably have to track down the scavengers who have been in the water looting bodies and such. But I think the right cred paid out to the right places will eventually get you one of these disrupted headsets that's left behind, grimy, caked with moss and such. And Gabriel, you want to try and read it?
And I want to try my psychometry protocols.
All right, let's have you roll. What do you
All
want to roll that
right.
with?
Let me see. How am I looking on things? And what am I feeling on this? I feel like I'm just bouncing fear and power all the time, except for mad. I'm often mad. I think I'm going with power. I mean, this is me figuring out something that I am good at, and like I'm kind of proud that I'm thinking, oh, I can get this is something I can show up everybody. People will be impressed. So yeah, I think I'm going with power. Hearing up on spiking that again. All right. I'm rolling it. Boom. 10.
I think you will flash through. Get like at first like the C&C, like the command and control, the plots down, the orders. You see like footage, stuff like running through, and you'll see footage of those assaults that you coordinated from the other music divisions to attack those transmitters. And I think you see people being deployed to kill off those people. And I think you can see that there are a number of people from the various music war factions involved with that. I think, some of them picked up those black boxes. I think you get some like half distant footage of people's throats being cut and dropped. And then there's footage and target probability and you known associates, and pops up Heller and Marley and Riddle and Claudio and Gwen and some others. They're down like another tier below.
Okay.
And they've clearly tied you to that transmitter attack.
Oh.
And I think there is a turning as this person is giving a briefing, and he says, we don't know what they're after, but they're disrupting our plans. They're tied to Okefenokee, so we know that they're at least connected up. We know that they've been involved with the Dollbots. We think that they might be here to break Dusk out. And I think that you see figures moving through this building, and I think you can see this building is a huge super cooled supercomputer. And I think that you can see that this is where Dusk is imprisoned. And then the Aegis team rolls out to come and kill you.
I will, since this was an assess to lead up to this.
Yeah.
The roll goes for an assess. I will take the +1 acting on the information and store that away, and spend my other hold to hand to Riddle. Riddle, can you make this apparent for everyone as I feed the information I just got to you, so that you can broadcast to the other two?
I think you can, actually.
I could give it to an individual.
Oh.
So you make Riddle into a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that then.
And I think Riddle, when this stuff comes up, when all of the information flows through, it's buried, it's encrypted, It's down at the bottom, but there is an IP address at the very raw bottom location of this site.
Is it something I can trace?
You now know where it is physically. And that's what we're going to stop tonight.
Woo-hoo.
Sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
I had, I'll tell you a song story after a bit. Let's check in, Gabriel, of your internal stuff, the entanglement, drive, question. How many of those do you think we hit?
I don't know if we hit any of them unless it's the last one. And I don't know if I was climbing my way up the guild or not.
I'll give you one out of that. I think that, and we also, we brought Gwen up, who is an entanglement, who is on their radar as well.
Oh, that bothers me.
Riddle. One or
All,
two?
I think all three, honestly.
Oh, really? Oh, that's true. Yeah, Dangerous Guide. Yeah. I'll give you another one of those. And did you mark that you raised the hunger up?
Yeah, I
Okay.
marked it before, even though it happens now.
Right.
But yeah, it's all the way up to 4 now, which might have an effect at the start of the next session.
We'll see. Marley. I think that's all three.
Yeah. Not directly any of them, but indirectly all of them.
Yeah. Heller, at least one.
Yep, at least one. I mean, kind of peripherally would be the first and definitely the last.
Okay.
So I just go with one.
All right.
I still got to figure out how to spend my last one. So maybe I'll just buy something up.
Let's do quick stars and wishes. Next session is our last session.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Sherry, let's start with you. Let's work our way backwards.
Oh, okay. So let's see here.
Stars and wishes.
Oh, I have to say that that double bad roll right at the beginning set the tone, didn't it? So that was fun times, and then you threw 10 Black Ops folks at us, and demise at the same time.
Two hard moves.
So unkind, but it was fun. I got to use more of my stuff than I have before, and now I get to unclick it so I can use it all again next time. So here we go. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing some more cool things before I die, and that will be great.
Okay. I'm just going to put down cool things as your wish. Okay.
Before I die.
Before I die. Okay. Marley.
Yeah, I mean everything that Sherry said, but I guess stars for Tyler, like just jumping in and being like, I'm gonna just shoot this guy. I'm gonna fix this problem once a problem. I'm just gonna shoot this guy. All the rest of us are like fooling around, trying to not, just murder people. And Gabriel's like, no, this is one problem that's gonna be out of the way. So yeah, I like that. I like the direct approach. This was very good to see, like Gabriel just kind of decide he had enough.
Any wishes?
I mean, at this point, I just kind of want to see what happens. Like, both in the like personal arcs and the we have this mega corporation trying to kill us arc. There's a lot of different things going on, and I guess I'd like to see some resolution in both of those.
Okay.
And yeah, but that, I mean, there's a lot. So
okay. Make it count. Riddle.
Yeah, that was amazingly exploding chaos. I just really am enthralled with the idea that because like there was the charges on the bottom of the boat and then the alligator exploded, like Riddle is convinced in his soul that they like they put charges on the alligators and detonated them.
Who does that?
Who does that? Um, but no, it was a great like explosive chaos for the double misses, and also the it speaks with Roxo and the just let me in and I'll take care of it, which was just such a great like. Riddle has spent this entire time, piece by piece, prying Roxo out of him and cutting off those connections, and it was just the right amount of fear and chaos for all of his determination to crumble for a minute. And it's, I don't know, it's such a great like parasitic destructive relationship moment.
And it's you had to let somebody in, even though you try to keep people out.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
it's just good stuff. Yeah, I really liked it. I like the way you played it. Like, that was really good on your part.
Thank you. I was surprised by and really appreciated where you went with that.
That was very cool.
Also, just as a very minor thing, like Sherry Heller just standing at the kitchen sink with like the spray attachment. As you like untwist your hand there and like get a little dish soap on the little scrubby thing. That was just such a great mental image. Wishes, there's things all over the place to try and put bows on, but I feel like there's still something like unresolved and needs to be addressed between Riddle and Heller and Roxo and Revision. Like, that's, we brought a lot of that up last time, and I don't know, I think I feel the need to like not finish that but move it to somewhere,
Okay.
rather than just leaving it in the like argument and anger sort of situation.
Interesting. Okay. I like that. And Gabriel.
This was chaotic wonderfulness. It was neat to see us in a, on the back foot going into this massive battle. The reveal of they're not with you was just perfect. It's like, oh crap, this is not at all what we're thinking it is. Riddle blowing up an alligator, loved it. Loved Marley coming over and just tackling him, the big jump and the grab, and you're not getting away, and all of that was fantastic. Heller doing the neutralize on folks, just kind of handling a swath was really nice. Well, you got 3 of them. Just whoa, it was very nice. It was a wild, atmospheric sort of fight, of people that are not really, you would think, swamp folks. Fighting in a swamp is really kind of cool. I was very happy to get to use my big gun. I love my big gun. So a lot of neat things, and finding out that Aegis twist at the end was very interesting, and just a lot of cool stuff. Really, really fun session. Wishes. I know we're gonna have a culmination. We have this big moment, and perhaps the dusk thing, or there's a lot on the plate. I look forward to seeing where we go. I think that's gonna be awesome. But if it is that Heller is going to die off, and I have reached that point where I cannot save those who will not be saved. I would like to see some product of the music with Temple that shows I am taking care of her for Heller.
I think that's good. We've got a lot of stuff that are positioned for you to bounce off with that. So yeah, I think that's definitely in the works. I think it's like there's a lot of good fictional positioning for that and for you to figure out. And we'll talk next time about like what do you want, like what is it you want to take on, what angle to end to fit with that, what foe or what force or what thing do you want to deal with, and
because theoretically we're not coming back to this.
That's true. We've had a lot of sessions in this.
Right. So I mean, we need to have that. Where is that sweet spot for these characters in the end?
We'll definitely work on that. We've got aim for it, but we got a lot of good stuff on the table.
So good.
And I have no idea how you're going to wrap it up. So creative problem solving all around. I am going to stop the recording.